folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my little shed where I have a fun little project that was initiated by our son. He and I restored a Honda SS50 last year and he's learning how to ride it, and he told me that he sometimes has difficulty determining what gear he is in. He thinks very much in terms of gears when cornering, and he told me that he's often not sure whether he is in third gear, second gear, or sometimes he shifts back by accident to first gear while the bike is still rolling, and then when you release the little pedal you come to a weird stop. So he wanted to have a gear indicator. Now you could say a good rider knows what gear he is in. It comes with the process of learning and experience, but then again a lot of new bikes, almost every new bike nowadays comes with a gear indicator. So I started designing my own 7-segment LED display for this, and it was quite a project in itself, only to find out you can buy a complete unit for less than €4 off of AliExpress. And this is it. It comes in 5-speed, 6-speed versions. Our son's Honda has a 4-speed transmission, so we can leave one wire out. The way this works is very simple. I'm gonna demonstrate it in a second. The problem I have is that I don't have a good pickup on the bike itself. There is a pickup, but just for the neutral position. So when the bike is in neutral position, the green light in the speedometer lights up and he knows it's in neutral. My mesh has a gear indicator and it uses this sensor. This comes off of my old mesh engine, and as you can see there are a bunch of copper contacts in there. The little round one is for the neutral position and the other ones are for the gears. You can see by the looks of it, this is for the normal gear shift pattern, with the one down below, neutral between first and second, and then third and fourth gear up. The transmission in our son's Honda has a different pattern where neutral is the lowest position and you shift up to first, second, third and fourth. It's a different shift pattern, and after fourth gear you can shift through. And another difference is that his gear selector drum always makes a full rotation between the neutral position and fourth gear. So this pattern of these copper contacts on here is unusable. So I have to make this myself because I couldn't find a pickup that suits his bike with the Lifan engine. So that's actually the project for this episode. But first I want to show you how this gear selector, this display works. I'm gonna set up the camera and show you how it's done. So here is the gear indicator display in my little vise so I can demonstrate. And just like the neutral lights, these are usually switched to ground, so you get a constant 12 volt or battery power supply to the indicator, or in this case the display, and you have a bunch of other wires, and if you connect those to ground you can get the reading. So in the bikes, in the Honda and Lifan clone engines, there is this little rotating switch that rotates, and in case of the mesh this little switch rotates, and when it's in this position it grounds the neutral wire and the neutral indicator goes on. And if it rotates a little bit in this direction, this is first gear, and the wire for first gear is grounded, and then the first gear indicator comes on. So I already wrote it down. I will also put it in screen so you can show. So the neutral position in this case is the white wire, and here comes a nice thing. We get a nice green display reading. First gear is the red wire, and now we get normal red lights. Blue is second gear. Green is third gear. Black is fourth gear. And yellow is fifth gear, but this is the one that we won't be using. So this is how it works. Back to neutral again. Really like the fact that it is a bicolor display for the €4 or less than €4 what this is costed. This is actually a very nice piece of kit. So I'm gonna disconnect it. Now the next thing to do is make a sensor on the bike itself, and where we can insert those wires to. And I'm gonna take you to the bike and show you what I have planned. Okay folks, we're at the bike, and as you can see I have the cover removed and I also have the sensor out. So this is how it sits in the bike. Currently the bike is in neutral. when I rotate the wheel, as you can see, the chain and the sprocket run freely. So this is the neutral position and the little contactor is over there. Now what I've done, I've shifted through the gears and wrote down the position of that little contactor. First gear is over here, second gear is over there, pretty hard to show, third gear and fourth gear. Almost goes through a full rotation. Now I wrote it down on the engine casing itself, then I put the switch back in, and there is a little locator here, and then I copied them there onto the on this little plastic piece. So neutral, first, second, third, and fourth gear is underneath here. I wrote it down on the inside. I want to take this little sensor off, drill some extra holes in there, and insert new copper contactors. And then, so I took the little sensor out. I cut the wire because I couldn't take it out of the wiring loom, and it's pretty easy to reconnect, and I also have to connect a lot of other wires. So what I did, so you have the markings over here on the outside, and I transferred them over to the inside. So this is the position, this is where the contactor should make contact with the wires in this sensor. I made a quick run to the hardware store, and I bought some brass plated pins, or actually they are little nails, they're brass plated. Now this may be a bit hard to show on the camera, but when I hold one up close, you can see that these pins, the diameter is the same as the width of this neutral contactor in there. So the next thing to do is drill the holes on the drill press, and then I'm gonna push this in, and the diameter, hole diameter, will be a press fit for these. When I have done that, I'm going to do that off camera. I'll show you the end result. Okay folks, we're a little bit later and I finished the sensor, and in fact I already connected it. I put the wires on, gonna show you up close in a second. I have everything connected for testing right now, so don't want to pull on the wires. Anyway, I wanted to press fit those nails in, but this metal, this plastic, is fairly brittle and it started to crack. So what I did, I made the holes 0.5 millimeter larger, and I just slided them in and have them now put in place with CA glue, so super glue. It's color coded now with the wiring loom of the display itself, and I'm ready for testing now. I have everything connected, so all the wires are connected to the display. And the ground point is the rotating part that sits on the gear drum, is connected to wire of my Benz power supply. Okay, and let's test it. So make sure that the wire is turning with me. This should be neutral, and we have neutral. First gear, second gear. The flashing is caused by me, by the way, and fourth gear, third gear, second gear, and that's me pushing too hard again, first gear, and neutral. So it works. Now I want to also see if I can connect the neutral light, the green light in the speedometer, to this wire here. So I'm gonna fit it on the bike now, see how it fits, and if it fits well, I'm gonna apply a little bit of RDV sealant, because this isn't fluid tight, as you can see. Hopefully you can see right here. It's in the groove of the O-ring, so there's a little bit of oil. I don't want this to be a sweaty part, sweaty meaning oil sweating through. So I'm gonna fit it on a bike now and show you how that looks. So this is the sensor currently in place on the bike, and as you can see, the wires are protruding outward, and the one problem that I have is that I have to fit it in a cover and guide the wires into the frame. Alrighty, it's the following day, and I connected some official Honda connectors to the wiring loom of the indicator, and I also made this little aluminium bracket on there so I can install it on the handlebars. The sensor is on the bike, and I braided a wiring loom so I can do a functional test for now. So I'm gonna put all this on, then I'll pick up the camera, and then we'll start testing things. So I have everything wired up. Here is the sensor on the frame. I left a little bracket out so I can adjust it a little bit clockwise or counterclockwise. This is how I got the wires twisted together, and I put some tape on there in order to prevent contacting the frame. When it contacts the frame, it would give a false positive. So there's my wiring loom, goes all the way here. Here are the wires that are connected to the gates, and as you can see, it already reads. I have the ignition on, It got its power supply, and when I shift into first gear, there is first gear. I want to switch to second, but I have to rotate the rear wheel by hand a little bit. Now it's in second gear, but it still reads 1. And fourth gear is there, but as you can see, I'm not sure how well it shows on camera because of the glare, but the one seems to be illuminated all the time. When I downshift to third, sorry camera, you can see a very fake 3, and now I have a very fake second gear. There it is, first gear. Now it's in between gears, so rotate the rear wheel a little bit. There's first gear, and there is neutral once again. So it works, but not entirely well. So I'm gonna look into that and see if I can solve it. Folks, I got it figured out. The problem I had was the screw head in there, and that's the one of the points of the contacts that I made, and that's why the number 1 gear position was always triggered and was shining through. Now let's have a look again. So currently in neutral, there it is. And I also want to reconnect this neutral light. I'm gonna do that later. So I'm gonna shift through the gears. We have a first gear. Oh, let me get the camera in my other hand. So first gear, there is second gear, third gear, fourth gear. I'm going all the way back through the gears, back to neutral. So now it's working. So the last thing I want to do is wire everything up neatly and guide a new cable loom through the frame. I have to figure out how I'm going to connect it underneath the engine block, but that's something to do off camera. So I'll pick you up once everything is finished. Well folks, we're a couple of days later and I've done some test riding on the bike. I have almost 100 kilometers on it, and I'm happy to report that it didn't work as expected, but it did work as hoped, so that's all good news. It works just flawlessly, I must say. One thing I want to show you first is how I routed the cables. You can see I made this little cutout in the outer cover and run it along here into the frame. I was worried that it wouldn't fit, but it did. The only thing that I had to do is run the cable loom underneath the tank, so outside the frame, and then it hops underneath here. I will pull it down a little bit. You can see there is my braided cable. I have to tuck this in a little bit more, but there wasn't room to guide it through along the air filter. Anyway, it runs along here, and it is clamped in this outer cover, so it won't touch the chain or the sprocket. And then again, a look at, let me switch the bike on. Yeah, it works just perfectly fine now. So it's a very cheap display, and if you know how to wire it, it's very simple to get it up and running. And the difficulty in this case was to make that little sensor that lives behind the cover. There were two things that I needed to change in order to get that false ground for first gear out of the way. One, I replaced the screw that holds the contactor to the gear shift drum. I replaced the screw with a plastic screw, a nylon screw, and I found that the little bracket that holds the selector itself in place also made contact with that wire. But all in all, it was easy to solve once I figured it out, and it took me 5 minutes or so. And in other news, the bike is done really well. If you look on the odometer, I reset it to 0 last year after we rebuilt the bike. And as you can see, we have over 4,000 kilometers on it. The Lifan engine is running perfectly fine. I'm very happy with it. And these Lifan engines with the horizontal cylinder are of much better quality than the ones with the vertical cylinder, the standing cylinder, the one that I have on my mass bike. There is a big difference in quality, and this just runs perfectly fine. Fuel consumption is about 1 liter per 55, sometimes even 60 kilometers. So yeah. Only problem is that the paintwork on the bike isn't perfect. There is something wrong with the chemistry, so the paint is very soft and it attracts a lot of dust. But then again, this bike was intended as a daily driver, even though it's a classic. So sometime in the near future, which may be a matter of years, we will repaint the bike, maybe in winter time, but for now it runs just perfectly fine, and our son is very happy with it. So that's it for this video. So let me switch the camera around so you can see my new haircut. That's it for now. I hope you learned something from it, and if you have any questions about this project, just let me know down below in the comment section. I already have a new project up for this bike, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick it up. Our son asked if I could make a fuel gauge, a fuel level indicator, and I have some ideas, but for now I'm done tinkering with bikes. It's now, as you can see, it's great weather and I just want to go out and ride. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, thanks for following along, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!